Welcome to episode 46 of A Week in the Life of a UK student reseller. This week we got two important releases. First off, we got Supreme Dunks releasing in the High by Any Means, coming in the Brazil colourway, the black and the champion navy. Definitely think the Brazil colourway is going to be the best and perform similar to the green and be the high performer dunk, and then black slightly below, and then champion navy below that. I expect resale to fall around 180-200 once pairs come in hand, so we can probably rake around 100 on top depending on retail. The next drop is the Jordan 1 Mocha drop. It should be releasing in size stores and Foot Locker and maybe Foot Asylum. If they do a shop drop, will be sure to run for them, and they're fetching around 150-175 depending if you sell to clients or locally or marketplaces of course. But those are the two releases that we're going to be prioritising this week. There might be some restocks along the way, so we'll definitely stay tuned for those. But those are the drops we've got this week, so let's see how we get on in this week's video. Right folks, just wanted to hop in here and do a quick segment on real versus fake for the Panda lows. As you saw earlier in that big haul, we did receive a fake Panda low for the first time, so I just thought I'd go in with a quick clip now showing you what to look out for when you are buying pairs, so you don't get scammed and so you can make an informed decision whether you want to make the purchase or not. So let's get straight into it. So this is the fake, this is a real pair from JD Sport. So from the fake, I'll do some overlay now of course, but just talk about it first. So from real versus fake, right off the rip you can see the colours are completely different. The fake's got a very matte tone to it, where the real pair's got kind of shine to it. So that's the first thing I noticed straight away, is this matte finish. I know you don't have it at hand, but if you do, if you are meeting up and doing meetups and that sort of thing, what you can also look out for is the leather feels very stiff and plasticky and like matte to the touch, which it shouldn't. It should feel some texture and not just bend like that and be stiff. It should wrap around with your finger. And same with the toe box. I'll do some overlay of course, but the toe box completely wrong. Like, it feels so stiff compared to this, and it's just the spacing's awful. The space between the toe box and the lace locks is awful. Coming through, swoosh isn't that bad on this pair. It is isn't the worst I've seen, but it is too close to the bottom and too far to the right, and it looks really small in comparison. Also on the fake pair, it's got this white line of stitching. That does have it in the real pair, but it's hidden and you should only be able to see the white stitching from the swoosh downwards. You shouldn't really be able to see it that prominently in going out so much, so that's another thing to look out for. Moving on to the outsole, right off the rip, the Nike Air is just too bold and it's too flat, like centered. It should be slanted, not centered like it is here. So that's another thing you should look out for. And the indents, it hasn't got that textured effect, and the stars are way too faded. Another thing you can look out for is the Nike on the back. This one, it should take up about like a thumb's room on the back and leave a gap between the two in the midsection. This one, it's tiny, my whole thumb fits over it. It's slanted as well, just so small. And then also look out for, there should be 3 lines at the back, and the last line should go just above the black panel, not up here, and it shouldn't be so much of a gap here. Also, there's too much of a gap there. The stitching obviously is inconsistent throughout, and then on the tongue, on the insole, you shouldn't see any inconsistency lines. And this is the fake insole. The real insole has all these crisscross lines through it, and the Stitching inside should be blue, not white at the bottom like it is on this pair. Going forward, the Nike Air on the tongue is also too small. The tongue in general is just too small and really thin like paper, and just in general the font is too fat on the back as well. And then the last thing you can do, as well as the laces are way too thick on this pair, they should be a nylon style, so it should feel nylon, not canvas, or not like normal shoelaces comparing. It shouldn't be this thick. And then the padding on here is awful, it's so thick, it shouldn't be that thick. It should be relatively thin but consistent throughout. Also, again, look at the size tag, QR code, all that good stuff. This one's completely wrong, like there's so much white stitching showing, and then the code's in the wrong place, the production date's wrong, and then last thing, let me just grab the black line. Any foreign stamps or lines, guidelines, markings, so I'll try and do some B-roll over this, but you shine this up, none of this should be lighting up on the toe box, and then there's stitch marks all over the toe box as well. Nothing really else shines except all this lights up at the back, which shouldn't light up either. Apart from that, no other should lights up, but it should just be like this, no light up. This should just light up, and then the back should light up like that, and then the lights should just shine, and that's all that should light up. But yeah, that's just a quick legit check of how to legit check pandas and what to look out for with this fake pair in hand. Just thought I'd give you some advice of what to look for, and so you don't get scammed like me. Nevertheless, I will be able to get my money back as I paid PayPal goods and services, and I always recommend you pay goods and services or pay on arrival after you've authenticated the pairs. Never pay gifted or bank transfer unless you've been dealing with the person for a significant number of years and they're a regular, you're buying off them regular and all that stuff, but even then you can still get scammed, so always be wary of that. But that's just a little section. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, just a quick unboxing today from Office, so let's get straight into it. So boxes okay, which is good, just like them, but that's okay. So as you can tell from the box, it's a Next to Nature Dunk. This one in the light Allwood colourway in a size 5.5 US 7. So this one restocked on Office. The initial drop I did hit 2 pairs, but they both got canned unfortunately, but nevertheless here it is in hand finally. So right off the rip you've got this recycled outsole made of at least 30% recycled materials. As you can see all the little granules in the outsole, and then moving to the midsole, you just got a clean white midsole. For the upper, you got a white against it's sort of like a cream, sort of like my t-shirt, cream or off-white colourway. This one kind of's got an effect on it, sort of tumbled but not really. Then you've also obviously got the white paneling throughout. Then you've got the Nike Air on the tongue, and then obviously just it says saying that it's got at least 20% environmental materials. It's got a neon insole, and that's about it for the shoe. Prices stabilised around I think 120, 125. So just gonna quick flip it now, because as we've seen from the, I think it was pale pink or something, pale ivory or something like that, they released these, they only went up to like 150, 130, 150, and they were sitting at retail when they first released. So I don't really have faith in the Next to Nature Dunks, even though it is a nice concept that they're using more recycled material. People aren't really wanting it, and it's not really in that high demand. I'd seen from the amount of bids in it on marketplaces. It also, another feature, doesn't come with any paper, which just save on the environment again, which I like. But yeah, just a quick unboxing of the Next to Nature Dunks. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, really quick unboxing today, just the one packaging from Offspring. Let's get straight into it. So as you can see, Offspring, white Jordan box, so it is a women's Jordan. This one in a size 3, US 5.5 in the light ore, iron ore colourway. So I hit this one with Cyber, with Caliber DC, so definitely a big shout out to them. Here's the shoe in hand. I didn't actually know this light ore was sort of like a soft canvas, and then you've got a softer leather, better leather. I think it's an SE. Yeah, it's an SE, so slightly better materials. But we'll dive straight into the shoe. So starting with the grey outsole, quite nice, just a cool grey outsole. Got the white midsole, and then you've got this pink swoosh, which is tumbled, kind of nice. And then you've got this light ore in the canvas material, as I stated, kind of giving it like a leopard or tiger kind of print. And then it does come with pink extra laces, which is a nice touch as well. And that's the shoe in all its form. I think it's a good hold in sizes 4 to 6. I think it will reach like 170 by summer. But nevertheless, I've already quick sold this pair. I've had it on eBay and it just sold for 170 shipped. So pretty happy with that sale, as sales on Laced and StockX are significantly lower. But nevertheless, this will go straight out. But that's all we got in today. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, so as you can see, all the rest of the GS Cardinal 3s just came in. I won't bore you going through each one individually, but there they are in hand. Shout out to Flare Raffles again for this massive haul. Nevertheless, just want to showcase it on the channel to show that I ain't capping and this is all legit. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, just a quick unboxing today, so let's get straight into it. Just from Nike, so let's go. So as you can tell from the vlog, another Nike Dunk. This one is a Dunk High in the khaki colorway, released on Monday, and I thought I might as well pick up a pair just to make some lunch money. So here they are in hand. The colours, interesting, not something personally I like personally. I do prefer like a nice bottle green, but nevertheless like the Michigan State, but nevertheless an interesting colorway. It's starting off with the outsole. It's got a green or khaki outsole. You got that white midsole, and then the khaki coloured against the white panelling. Nothing crazy, just standard GR leather, as you know and love. With these Dunks that have been pushed out by Nike, already sold it for only $120, so only £10 lunch money after fees. But I just thought I might as well just pick it up just to get my Nike account with more orders, so I could maybe get more exclusive access, but nevertheless pays for proxy data and that sort of thing, so not too bothered. But here it is in hand. That is the shoe. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, so 2 orders came in from Foot Asylum from Yodel. Let's get straight into them. So the boxes are good. Shout out to my Yodel driver. She's made sure the boxes are actually in decent shape. But as you saw from the live cop, we did manage to secure 4 of the Jordan 1 Low Mochas. These ones have come in are a size 8 UK and a 7.5 UK. I think I did hit a 6 and another 7.5, but one of them's already been reverted, and then the other one I haven't heard any email regarding if it's been shipped or not, so I'm going to have to chase that up with live chat, which is going to be a long process. But let's dive into the pairs we've got. So first time seeing this shoe in hand, so here it is. It's an SE, so you do get a bit better quality and as extra pair of laces, which is a nice touch, but you do pay the premium of a bit more retail. Starting off, we got the black outsole, which is just a classic, really nice, easy to wear. Then you've got an off-white midsole, which I do like that touch. It gives it more of a vintage or aged look, which is in trend at the moment. Then upper, you've got this short head Mocha, as they're calling it, suede against the white paneling, and then you've got that all throughout, and then you've got the Air Jordan in the back in silver. Wish it was embroidered, but nevertheless it looks interesting. And then nice little touch, you've got like a quilted style pink lining, and then obviously the pink laces to go with it. Black laces are already in it as well, but that's the shoe in its form. Currently reselling for about 150, 170 depending on size. Think I could probably sell it to clients at 175, and it is a good shoe nevertheless. I think it could reach 200 just due to the colour blocking and people going for lows as they're cheaper than the highs, and it's a good alternative for a Mocha colourway. Nevertheless, it's still a low, and it doesn't have an OG style tongue, which is why I don't really like it. It just has a Jumpman on the tongue. That's one thing that lets it down for me. If it did have the Nike Air, I would be more inclined to purchase it for personal, but nevertheless people are still liking it. I think it was around like 180 just before Christmas, but it has dipped now with further restocks and just people not really buying it this time of year. But if you can pick up pairs on the low, especially GS, I don't even think they've released in the UK to be honest, but if you can get pairs around like 120, 125, definitely not a bad pickup for summer. I think it'll be fine, and even autumn this year it might reach 200, 220. But yeah, that's a Jordan 1 Mocha. Stay tuned for some more updates. Right folks, so we've got a pretty important release today. We've got the Supreme Dunk High SBs releasing in the black, Brazil and college navy. Definitely I think the Brazil is going to be the highlight colour to go for, with black falling in second and the college navy in third. I just think everyone's going to go for the black, and they're just going to overlook the Brazil colourway, which kind of pops more in my opinion, even though the white and black is more wearable. Looking at the past Supreme Dunks, the black and white was not the best performing colourway, it was the green, so I think this Brazil colourway will follow a similar trend. Nevertheless, I think it will settle around maybe 250, 220 after people start getting their pairs in, and best to sell on the day. Current setup I'll be running today is Cyber, Mech and then Rogue script, and of course manual, so let's see how we do. We've got about 20 minutes till the drop, so let's get into it. So 30 seconds till the drop, so start my Rogue tasks. And also my cyber. Processing! I got one! Let's go, got it! Processing on... Oh, high traffic, no! Shout out, Mac! Let's go. Right folks, that's the drop about over with. Pretty successful. We are able to cut one navy with mech size 10.5 and then a trucker jacket in a small manual, so I'll take that. Nevertheless, I would have liked to get more. I know some people hit 4 or 5 clips manual, but it just wasn't working for me. It was instantly out of stock, and when I refreshed, nothing seemed to work. But nevertheless, that's the drop out over with. Stay tuned for some more updates. Thank you folks so much for watching this week's episode. I'm pretty pleased with the outcome. With the Mocha drop, we were able to secure 2 that actually got shipped. The other 2 did get cancelled, but shout out to FlareAIO and Ignify Proxies for that cook. And then for Supreme, we were running Cyber and Mech managed to cook us one on browser headed with Ignify Proxies again, so shout out to them. And then we were able to manual a trucker jacket in a small blue wash, so that'll go to a client of mine, which I'm pretty happy about. Sadly, we weren't able to cop the Brazil or black to showcase on the channel, so it would just be the navy, but once it comes in hand, I'll be sure to give a review on it and give you thoughts on hold and sell predictions. Nevertheless, that's about it for this week's episode. There were some more drops on Offspring, but sadly I was studying so I wasn't able to record them. Nevertheless, we should have some restocks of some more dunks next week, along with some more Jordan 1 mids and I think the Vast Grey dunks. So those are definitely some good releases coming up. But that's all for this week, so stay tuned for the next episode.